anyhow. When they ask you for money, you talk to them as if you are the God that created them. You want them to come and bow and worship you before you pay their children's school fees, only because you are the one that has the highest income. There is nobody that stays at the top forever. No be person wey get today get tomorrow. Whatever you are doing, be conscious of life. Life is a mystery. Life is a journey. You may be up today and tomorrow you will be down. No matter where you are, mind how you treat people, because God has a substitute.
Tonight I want to preach on the topic I titled God has a substitute. Look at your neighbor, say God, sit down, has a substitute. Say it again, say God has a substitute. Can you walk to 3 people and hit them by the shoulder and tell them God has a substitute? God has a substitute. 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 Am I communicating here? Stretch your hands and let me decree upon the life of 725 of you that are under the sound of my voice. The first thing I want to say to you tonight is that wherever you have tested before and that life is a good life, nothing will make you drop from that good life. I didn't hear your amen. I said nothing will make you drop from a good life. I said nothing will make you drop from a good life. If you stand up and shout that amen, you will be consistent in life. I said you shout that amen, you will remain consistent in life. Look at me. When a man starts something, it is not enough to start. It is enough to remain. You didn't hear me? There are people that they have been, once they were rich, but now they are no longer rich. I get them before, no be property. Whenever you test something good and you fall back, it is painful, because when you remember the good life you've lived before, you cannot help but to shake your head and say, how I wish. But today I came to announce to you, there is a grace that is coming upon you in this service. That grace is the grace of consistency. It shall make you retain your position. It shall make you retain what God has given to you. It shall make you stay where God has kept you. If I'm talking to you, shout that amen like a believer. I say shout that amen like a believer. I say shout that amen like a believer.
God has a substitute. When we read in verse 20, the Bible said there was a prophet, a young prophet, and the Lord sent him to a city, and he said, as you go unto this city, go with this message: if any man presents food, eat no food and drink no water. Why did God make that statement? Because the weak point of that prophet was food. There are people that cannot do without food. The other time I told you that if you are too fruitful, you cannot be fruitful. You have to come to a point. Even when we said we should fast yesterday and today, there are people that could not help but to eat. The reason is because they cannot stay without food. I've never seen a man that died of hunger. You may be hungry and it's as if you are going to die, but if you give yourself 1 hour, even if they bring the food, you can't eat it again. Am I communicating here? The Bible said, and he disobeyed God when an old prophet came to him and said, God said I should tell you to eat. The Bible said, as he was eating the food, listen to this, right on that table, when God said, he said, God said I should tell you to eat, and as he was eating the food on the table, the Spirit of God left him and transferred to the old prophet. You didn't hear me? Never you come to a point in life when you think you have arrived. Never you come to a point in life where you think you are the best. The Bible said that prophet was old. He was outdated. God was no more interested in him. And the young prophet came with vibrancy, feeling that God is with him. But the Bible said as he disobeyed God, God left him and looked for a substitute immediately. God does not waste time. God is in a hurry. There are people in the church, because you sing well, you feel you are the only person that can do it, and there is is nothing you can do. You come when you want to come. You come when you do anything you want to do. Maybe there is a particular position you occupy in that church and you are the best in that field, and you feel that there is no other person God can use to do what you are doing. Tonight I came to tell you, no matter what you are doing for God, never you forget that there is always a substitute. If you cannot do it, God will raise another person. Am I talking to somebody here? I say, am I talking to somebody here? There are people, they feel they are the most pretty, they are the most beautiful. Anything they do it psychological. They do it as if there is no other person that is as pretty as they are. Let me remind you, in case you have forgotten, the beautiful ones are not yet born. There are people that are better than you. Anything you are doing for God is a privilege. It is not a right. It is a privilege. Any day I feel and I say that I am the pastor and I decide to treat you anyhow, God will not just look at me. God will simply raise another voice, because the Bible said, if you will not worship me, I will raise stones to speak for me. God forbid that God will raise stones in my generation. Am I talking to somebody here? Look at your neighbor, say neighbor, say neighbor. No matter what you are doing for God, remember that God has a substitute. Am I talking to somebody here? Am I talking to somebody here? Am I talking to somebody here?